Okay, so in this video, we're going to be talking about imagery. I think it was probably the most important element that I found throughout the poem. It kind of just helped me picture this poem better. So, kind of think about what imagery is to you. Like when I read the lines I found it in, it might seem different to you than how I think it is, but let's look at the lines I found. So, the first one would be in lines 6 through 7, where the speaker says, the black slick heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. Now, when I see this, like the mental image that comes to my head, like it's like looking back at a little movie of animals and you see a little seal just bouncing up and down in the water, its head just bobbling up and down. That's the one that comes to mind. It shows me that how easily you can adapt to an element, just like when the speaker says in line 5, they seem to become natives of that element. The reason both of these lines can relate back to me is because a seal is equipped to handle different circumstances. And when you're working on a project, or what I have come to terms this could also mean is like working on a relationship, you have to be able to adapt to different types of deals, different things that's going on. So those are the first few. That's the first one I really find. And then another one would be lines 13 and 14. So let's see. That would be in stanza 3 for the people who have their books out and are following along. It says, in the task who go into fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along. So what's like a mental image that comes to mind when you hear that? In the task who go into fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along. To me, I kind of think of people like when you see like pictures of people in Africa who pass stuff in the fields from one person to the next, instead of, oh, here's the bag, let's just carry it all the way through the field and start again. No, the task is more controlled. So I kind of just picture them, how they work as a team and they work fluently. It comes to them naturally. So, okay, here you go, I got it. They trust one another. So, and it kind of shows that not all of this work can't be done alone. So, like, just like you could be doing a group project, you can't do it alone and it turn out how it's supposed to be. Or you can't do a relationship on its own. You have to work hard in a relationship. So that's kind of what it shows to me. Another one that kind of just pops in my head is when I hear them say in line 8 and 9, I love people who harness themselves, an ox to heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience. So you gotta think an ox with a cart, that's kind of, I don't really know like what I've never really seen that in person, but kind of picturing it, it's like, okay, so they have to work hard to pull that cart, which kind of goes back to my metaphors. So I'm like, they're working hard. That kind of helps picture what's going on. So that's some of the imagery I have found that kind of help put this poem in perspectives. So in our next video, it'll be the last one I make, but I'm going to tell you my theme of the poem and kind of how it has changed throughout making these videos from when I started.